Welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now let's hear for our special guest host, Stephany Rodriguez.
Hey guys, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Thank you for joining in. And yes, before we get started, please, we have got more rooms added on to our host hotel because we just had so many people fill up quick. So if you go to the allianceevents.com, you can find the host hotel down there and you can look to see if there's any more available rooms. If not, look around in the area in South Beach, Miami to make sure you get a hotel close by so you don't miss any part of the event. Woo! All right, Wednesday. So I'm excited for today. I got some special guests on with me, a couple of my favorite guys over there in Panama City area. We've got John Ruthven and Sam Peacock. They're going to be on talking about the 8 steps with me. They asked me what I thought a good topic would be, and I was always told that a good topic to talk about is something you're really good at or something you need to be working on. And there's 8 steps. So there's absolutely one or two that we could always be working on. So I'm really happy to be talking about this today. I would just say, let's bring our guys up and I'll introduce them. This is John Ruthven. Hey, John.
Hey, Stephany. Glad to be here.
And Sam Peacock. How are you guys?
Doing great. Let me make sure that I am on.
You're on. We can hear you great.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, when I was thinking about the steps that I do really well and ones that I need help with, I think they all intertwine with each other. You can be really good at some of them at some points and then be struggling with some of them at some points. And then, I know for me anyway, I go through waves where I'm really strong at communicating with positive mental attitude and really strong at reading. And then, I go through waves where maybe I'm not reading as much. And so maybe I'm not always communicating as positively as I should. So I really love this whole book has really helped me through the whole last 4 years in the Alliance. It is always a good refresher. I have it right here. I'm guilty of it too. I probably haven't read it in at least a year. And every time I read it, I'm like, wow, I forgot about that. Or I have never seen that before. It's because every time you read something, you're at a different point in your life, right? So you're always noticing different things in a book, maybe that you didn't see the first or second time around. So that's why I think coming back to this probably every quarter is a solid move, because I think that if we're doing this right and we're growing right in one quarter, you can grow quite a bit. So first, I'm going to let you guys I picked out some steps for you guys. John, I really wanted you to kind of start off on communicating with a positive mental attitude, because you're really awesome at that. So I wanted you to kind of talk about that for a little bit.
Well, I think we have a choice every day when we get up to have a positive mental attitude or not. And I've always been the positive oriented. I like to enjoy life. And I think it starts off in the positive mental attitude, and people like to be around happy people. And I think it helps me in business and friends and just in life in general to have that positive mental attitude and communicating with people and talking to them. There's so many aspects of it to be reinforcing that to help your business and to help your relationships with your friends and everything.
It's true. And you can use things that happen in your life. You can choose to speak to them or to people in your life about these things in a positive way or a negative way. Bad things happen to people. We all have stuff going on. Your life's not perfect. My life's not perfect. And when you speak to me, though, you have a way of wrapping it up so that it comes out in a positive way, even though it might not be the easiest thing that you're dealing with. And so that's a gift.
Well, sometimes everything's not positive, but you've got to handle it in a positive manner. So it's not taken as offense to somebody. Say, okay, this is a problem we have. It's kind of, we say we, don't say you have. And that way we're all joining in the problem for getting a solution in that. I mean, we're in the team to grow as a team and support each other. And you don't do that by building somebody down. You do that building them up.
Exactly. And that's why working with you guys has been amazing, because when you need help with something, you come to me and you present it in a positive way. You ask for help because you want to learn. You just have this desire to learn from others. And it's the most positive thing you can do, is learning a new thing and presenting it in a nice way, because it makes it so people want to be around you. It makes you not a negative person. People run from negative people because it's always, oh, you saw that person in the grocery store. You don't want to be that person where they run the other way from.
Well, the people, negative people suck the life out of you. And you're right. I like to have people come in our direction. And in the business atmosphere, that's very important. We want people to run towards us. And we want to make their day pleasant and better after we've been with them than before. So, and it's a positive mental attitude.
It's true. And that's why I would imagine that people like to work with you guys, because you both have that gift. I mean, Sam is equally good at communicating positively. I've never heard one negative thing come out of his mouth. You guys are like two peas in a pod. They grew up together, best friends, went to school together. And I just love that you're building this business together. You kind of like bounce off each other. You play off each other's personality.
It's been an amazing ride, and we're looking forward to it going forward.
And I can't underestimate the amount of positive people within the organization. If we look at ourselves and maybe have a little doubt about maybe what we're doing or how we're doing, we can only look to others within our organization, and they lift you up.
It's true.
And so, having the common goal and camaraderie to help our client, really, that's why we're here, in a positive way, then we all win. It's a win-win around the
I'm waiting because I know there he is.
There you go.
You froze just a little bit. That's a really good point, Sam. And I think that really also shows to how you're really teachable. From day one, you've asked questions, you've taken the information that we've given you. I know Z loves working with you. And you've taken it and you put it into action. So that is one reason I asked you to talk about being teachable.
Well, teachable is really an internal attitude. Many folks think, they know it all, particularly when they get to my age, right? 69 years old. But the fact is, each and every day we can learn more, and we learn from each other. John Maxwell has a great 5-point lineup to say, number one, we need to learn to listen to be teachable. Number two, understand the learning process, and that is one, to act. Number two, to look at your mistakes, make adjustments, search for a better way. Now, not necessarily a better way other than the 8 steps, but a better way that maybe would help you be more successful. And then look for teachable moments. Look for things that maybe Stephany says or John says to me that I can take aboard into my action and just simply do better for my client. Make those teachable moments count, and then ask yourself, are you teachable? That's really key when you have had such experience as I have had. Sometimes, we need to dust off that, well, gee, I know it all attitude. We can always learn from others, and that's the beauty of the alliance.
It's true. And because, John, you owned a business before this, right?
Yeah.
You were in hospice?
I owned a hospice, had a couple locations, and had lots of people working for me, dealt with it. and helped a lot of people to take care of people in their crucial time in their lives, and very rewarding. But you're dealing with death, but you're helping with compassion and helping them deal with their loved ones. And it teaches you a lot about life and not to take anything for granted. We know we're all going to live here one day, and it's live it to the most and help as many people as you can. And in Alliance, we're helping a lot of people. You're helping each other.
It's true. And Sam, you worked there with him, right?
I have worked with John in the hospice industry in a different company before John started his company. And yes, we grew a hospice company to, John, over 2,000 patients. We were in multiple states. We did a lot of traveling. And, what we were doing, we were building teams just like we do here at the Alliance, providing a system for success and then replicating that system across a number of locations. And so we were, really pretty good about it. But I think what was really key was understanding why we were doing it, and that was to help the patient and their family.
Do you guys think that that's one reason why coming into this business was so attractive to you, or maybe why it was maybe a smoother transition than it is for some other people?
Well, I think we like helping people, and that's what we're doing here too. It's just a natural flow, and helping people makes you feel good, and we like to feel good, and we can help ourselves too, and so it's win-win-win. Everybody, we're helping people get in the business, we're helping clients and getting their families insured to ensure the safety of their family members, and we get compensated pretty dang good. So it's win-win-win, and it's just, it's kind of a hidden thing. I'm glad we got into it early. Then, I think it's been very rewarding for sure.
I love that you say you got into it early. You guys are just so awesome. That is perfect example of how you speak so positively. Because your guys' lives are perfect, right? Nothing wrong ever goes on in your life?
Never.
No sick family members, no problems with the spouse, no.
No, none of that.
Never.
Yeah.
I think one of the greatest pleasures, though, is to, be walking up to the door opens, and they say, "I've been waiting for you." And so,
right.
So come on in. Let's talk about their particular situation, how we can help them. And, when you walk out the door having written a policy, you feel good for them, really, that they finally have that protection that their family needs, but also for yourself because, hey, there's another one we can point to say, hey, we've been successful.
It's true. My favorite is when I door knock and I get the clients who say, "Thank you so much for coming by, because I would have never answered the phone with all this craziness going on. But this was so important to me and my family. I'm so appreciative that you just stopped by." That happens to me a handful of times a month. I get those comments. So it makes me laugh when I bring on people who say, "Oh, I won't door knock because that just seems dangerous." I'm like, I got to tell you something. There's a criminal and drug addicts. They're not sitting at home waiting for you to bring their life insurance over. They don't care about life insurance. We don't typically, we don't always run in the best areas, but the families who live in those areas still have a need for insurance, and they still want it just as much as the person who lives down, 3 blocks down with the white picket fence. So I just that is one of the most rewarding things that I think comes from this business, which is why I love just showing up at some people's houses sometimes, because otherwise they would have never gotten it taken care of. I literally just last night, a lady I door knocked, 6 to 8 months ago, she just texted me late last night that her husband, who we wrote the policy on, is on life support. And so he was walking and got hit by a drunk driver. And so it's just like, it is a wake-up call, and it reminds me why we do this business and why I'm so thankful that we have a tool and a vehicle to be able to help people in a way that also helps us and our families. But it's just a way to remind ourselves to stay grateful. I really think that if you're truly grateful, and that means being grateful even when times are tough, even when times are tough and things are going wrong, if you can remember to have grace and give people grace and be grateful that you're not on life support and you're not breathing in dirt and you're still alive and you have two legs you can walk on. If you can wake up and think of all those reasons you have to be grateful, I think going through the rest of this business and this life just becomes easy, because you know that the person who's next door to you doesn't have it so good.
That's true.
Yep.
And then I think John and Sam, you both can help me out with this one. Why attending all meetings is so important. You both go everywhere together. I know that, John, I mainly asked you to do it. If you kind of want to touch on that, how that plays into our business.
Well, I think we've been around a long time, and we realize we don't know everything. And I've always been wanting to learn from the best, get best practices to make me get better, and to be around those and build those relationships. And one of our first hot spots we went to was Andy, was over in Biloxi. And that's about 3.5, 4 hours away. And so we loaded up and went and met him, and he invited us for dinner with him afterwards. And we said, well, we had to get back to work the next day, and one of us had to get to work. I forgot which one, but we wanted to stay, but we didn't. Several months later, he was over there again, and we went and we did stay and have dinner with him and his family, and it was fabulous. Just getting to know him, and just Andy is an awesome, if you've been around him, you just got to be impressed that all that he brings to the table. He's genuine. He's there, and he cares too. When he goes around the room and talks about to each person and where they came from and their circumstances, and it's it makes you feel part of the family. And the big events we've been to, both are the ones since we've been here, and they get you pumped up. And some of my best weeks is after the Edge, and it's just overwhelming. We're excited to go to Miami and do there. We're going to take our brides down there and let them enjoy it and let them see what's happening. And so we're excited about that. But it's you get out there and you learn and you meet people and you learn more, and it just gets you fired up.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. I mean, attending all the meetings, it's definitely not always convenient. Like, it is not convenient for you guys to drive 3.5 hours each way. It's just not, no matter how you spin it. And I know, like, me and Z, we've been talking about when we can get down to see John and Sam. And so what we did was President's Club is doing this thing where you can get ZipRecruiter ads. I know you guys, I think, are taking advantage of that. So what we've done is we moved some of our ZipRecruiter ads down there, and we're like, we're just going to throw a whole bunch of money down where they are, because you're our bright spot right now. So what we want to do is we want to shine more light on you guys. And so, in order to be a leader, you got to do what you learn. You got to take the information that you learn. Yeah. But then you got to put it into practice. And so putting it into practice means going and traveling to see the people that we bring on, because it's nice seeing you guys on a computer screen, but it's not the same as getting to rub shoulders and go out to dinner and spend time. And just kind of learn how to develop you guys as leaders. That's kind of what being a leader is all about. And so that's what we've been working on. And so we already got confirmed that Big Mike is going to come with us. He's all excited about this
Good deal.
road trip. I just love this part about the business is there's always going to be somebody in your corner, even if they're not on our team. You know, there's going to be somebody in our corner who wants to cheer you on and wants to help you succeed and see you grow. And so we've been working on that. And so I'm real excited to come see you guys and just bring a bunch of agents on by you, under you, see you guys explode. I know, Sam, you have Yasmin, and she just brought on this new sharp guy, Eric, that we're real excited about. And she's starting to write business, and she's just blossoming. And that's got to be a really cool feeling for you to see, you know, like your team growing.
Oh, she's such a wonderful lady. And I was so thrilled this morning looking at the ARC and another policy from Yasmin. So God bless her and her efforts. And, you know, John and I both had a chance to meet with her and see her out in Denver. And just the camaraderie of everyone getting together was tremendous. You know, as
awesome.
far as being successful, again, you can't swim until you jump in the pool. And the pool, of course, is our system. So we must follow the system. And should you do that, you will be successful. And so I'm very thrilled about where we are today, but even more so about where we're going.
Yeah, you guys are definitely growing like crazy, and where you're going is in direct correlation with the fact that you're doing these steps and you're going where you need to go, and you're taking what you learn and you're putting it into action. And it's just really, really a blessing to have you guys. I always laugh about it because, and I don't mind telling the company because maybe it'll help somebody. So when I started building the team, I don't know, before Z a while ago, a couple of years ago, I was praying for a team. I probably shouldn't say this, of badass girls to take over the team, to take over the alliance, right? Girls just like me and, you know, whatever. I just wanted females like to be able to rule the alliance and take over. And since then, I've brought on all men. I think right now, most of the women I have on the team are in direct relation to you guys. So I'm real thankful that I found you guys to bring on the ladies farming. It showed me that I can't pick and choose, you know, who I'm going to bring on, because God definitely put you guys in my life, and he puts people in your path when you need them. And, you know, I can't say enough, like, you guys have taught me a lot. So I'm really proud to have you here. I think I can kind of use all this stuff because the one thing I've always done right was I'm very teachable. I already came to the alliance with, I shouldn't say with all of this sorted out, because that's not true, because there's always tons of chaos going on up there. However, I try not to say the word but anymore. But. However, before the alliance, I had all kinds of mess that I made throughout my life. And, you know, going into the AA program and learning how to get sober and talk to people and stand on my own 2 feet, I came to the alliance pretty teachable. So they were able to mold me as they needed me. Communicating with positive attitude comes easy to me, except for when I'm talking to Big Mike and Riddle, which I need to get better at, because, you know, like, I feel like I can just tell them what is going on up here, but that's not the way I should be communicating. So I'm telling on myself, because I think it is a common misconception that when you get to a certain level or you start producing a certain amount, that your life is just perfect and you don't have any craziness, you don't have any issues with your kids, you don't have any health issues, you know, you don't have any thinking issues. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you that anytime I've ever had a thinking issue was because I wasn't reading the way I needed to be reading. And when I started the business, I could tell when I wasn't reading because my numbers would dip. And so I'd read and I'd be producing like crazy and things would be great because I'd be doing what I should be doing, talking the way I should be talking. And now it's not that way. I can skip reading for a period of time, but I can still have good numbers. So now the way it is with me, what I've noticed is like, it just gets extra crazy in my head. And so I don't talk about it. I stay to myself. I won't call people. I won't call Riddle. I won't call my mentors, and so I think part of being teachable is being able to pinpoint when you're not doing things right, and then go to your mentors and tell on yourself and ask them, what are the best steps that I should take to get out of this little dip I'm in, because A, B, or C, and they're always going to help you. And that's why I love the company, because there's so many, take your pick of mentors here in the Alliance. They don't always have to be, the person you go to advice for on one subject doesn't necessarily have to be on your team. I like this business because anybody can help anybody, as long as they relate to you. It's a great system that we've put together. And I know that, Sam, you probably wanted to talk about being teachable a little bit more.
Well, again, it's a matter of listening and doing what it is suggested we do. And, sometimes, what is told you may not be what you necessarily would want to hear. So, tough love is out there, right? But if you back up and realize that the direction given is not for criticism, it's to help you grow, and you put it in the right attitude, as John said, then you can take that and grow from it. And that's what we all are doing here. We're still learning. We're babies in this deal. And so, as we mature, there's other similarities in other parts of your life. You're walking Christianity life, you're still learning and growing through all of that growth. And so what our challenge is to learn from those that are successful and engage with them so that we can then take their suggestions and grow ourselves through that process.
Yeah, exactly. And I really think that the only thing that keeps people from being, not the only thing, I shouldn't say that. A lot of times what keeps people from being teachable is a big part of who they're associating with when they come into the company. Like it could be family members. It could just be negative family members. It could be negative friends, or it's just the association with the wrong kind of person. My favorite analogy in this book is the crabs, the crab in the bucket. If you've got two crabs in a bucket and one's trying to crawl out, the other one's always going to pull them back in. And that's kind of what associating with negative people is because this business is hard enough as it is. Like we have a great opportunity, great clients, great people we work with, but not every single person we see is awesome. We still see mean people. We still see negative people. So it is a mentally challenging business, and to be able to stay on track with your routine day after day can get hard if you're not doing all these other steps. But if you have negative people in your life, self-doubt starts to creep in. And then you start thinking, well, what am I doing? Am I crazy for doing this? I was talking to Jared and Rachel Doucette last night, and they were telling me about the business that they were in before this. They had their own company and, what they were doing. And they just they gave it all up just to come do this. And a lot of people in their lives were like, you are crazy. What are you doing? And so it takes a really mentally tough person to be able to kind of block out the negative people and to just continue on doing what you're doing. And I think a big part of that comes from motivation. And, you can only get motivation through through some, not only, I should stop saying never and only, but you get motivation, through what you read, because what you read is kind of like recharging yourself sometimes. Like, you can get around great people and they can be motivating, or our conferences are so motivating. People leave from there like, phew. But it's what you do in between in those quarters that keeps you mentally tough. And if I wasn't reading, then my motivation would definitely go way down. I have lots of reasons to stay motivated. I have lots of reasons that I want to build this business aside from family. But if I wasn't reading, then I wouldn't always see something. I'm like, oh, that is a great point. Reading is like recharging yourself, and you see all these things in these books. And Albright says in the 8 steps that, all the secrets to the world are hidden in books. And if we would just look in books, we would find the secrets to life. And so I think probably what I could do more is read, because I go through dips where I'll say, yeah, I'll read 15 minutes a day, and I'll read 15 to 30 minutes a day, but then I'll go 3 months without reading. And that's when the craziness starts to come back. But I believe that by reading the right books, it can change your belief systems. And by changing your belief systems, it will change your activity level. And if you can change your activity level, it will change everything else in your life, because really activity is king. Activity is key. There's not much that putting in activity won't cure. I know I've heard a lot of people in this business say, like, if you got a problem with this, create more premium and then you can fix that problem. Well, how do you create more premium? Well, with more activity. How do you get more activity? Well, you need to stay motivated, and you need to have goals and dreams in mind. And I think you guys got big dreams. I think what you have done is you've helped eliminate people's excuses, because you guys have built other lives and other businesses, and you kind of came into this and you took it by the horns, and you're moving fast. And, I don't believe that it's ever too late for people to make a change and to build up something new for themselves. And for you guys to come into this as like a second, maybe even third career, I would say is pretty awesome, because a lot of people would look at you and say, you're crazy. Would you agree?
Sure. I mean, I wish I'd known about this 20, 30, 40 years ago. I mean, it's a long time ago, but we can't change the past. You can just change the future, and you got to do it with a positive attitude. But it's with all the support we get with the meetings, and those things fire you up like firecracker. And then the hot spots, which is just give you training in different arenas and different stuff, exposure to different people too. It's all together. It's just amazing. The arc is hard to explain. It's just people would, you just have to experience and see how much it does. And it just makes it, we take it for granted almost, because it makes it so easy to write a application. You just go and flip your laptop up and rock and roll. And just with all the different companies, I mean, I've dealing with one company, and they have all kinds of problems all the time. And we don't have those problems here. So maybe they had them before I got here. Everything's been pretty cool. We're excited to be here.
And we're excited to share it, because we found really, gold here. And it's just a matter of putting it in place and sharing it with others. Many people in your life may be an acquaintance, and, that person really may not have your best interest in their heart. Sometimes people are, to make me look better, I must make that person look worse. Well, we need to realize that. An old business associate years ago, Walter Petway, he's now passed away, but I remember him saying that, what, there might be a snake in the grass, and it's not necessarily important to kill the snake, but just knowing the snake is there. That's how you can manage around that problem and improve yourself, and maybe you will improve the snake. And that's what I try to do every day, is regardless of what comes at me, just try to be a positive influence to that person and hopefully turn them around to a better way for themselves.
Yeah, it's true. I think another thing you guys have really done well that we're still working on together, we're getting better at communicating more and going over goals. I think you've gotten really good from your life experiences of blocking those people out. But what you've done good here is I think we've gotten a lot better at developing your guys' routine, which directly affects your activity, because you can see how just like from before View from the Edge, you know, it was very spotty, but we got communicating at View from the Edge and we got together. You know, now we have our couple times a week we talk and we get on our Zooms and our team calls and our training, and we go over your goals more. And I think all of that, it's because we're starting to work smarter together. So, and that just means that now we're developing a routine for you. Now we're setting specific goals. We'll get specific dates, you know, for these goals. And we'll kind of just start developing that for you. But I think that's one of the most important things that we need to be successful, because you can't get somewhere if you don't know where you're going. So if you don't know where we want this business to take you, if you don't have a goal in mind, then we don't know how hard you need to work on this day, you know, what day you can go take a vacation with the wife. You know, that's the whole reason we come and we work with our activity books and we work on our schedules and we plan our routines out. Because if we didn't, life would be chaos. The same way as when I don't read, life is chaos, because there's just like, and it sounds crazy. Like, it used to sound crazy to me when I would tell Big Mike, I don't know what it is. I had a great week last week, and this week I can't get in. I can't set any appointments. He goes, well, are you reading? I'm like, no. What does that have to do with it? And I would just think that it was nonsense. But then I would read and my numbers would go up. So it's like, what I love about this book is that all of these 8 steps are so intertwined. And he says it right in there, if you can do all of these 8 steps on a weekly basis, we guarantee you will make a 6-figure income. And I mean, I know that to be true for me. I hope that we find that out to be true for you guys. I think that this is something that everybody needs to have in their business more. Be working on it more, be telling their teams about it more, because we don't talk about it enough. Because I think they seem like silly things that once you learn them, you think, well, like everybody knows them. Well, doesn't everybody know that in order to have big numbers, you need to have an activity book and a schedule and a routine planned out? No, everybody don't know that, because life comes in the way. And, things come up, kids get sick, family members get sick. We have things that happen where you might have a whole week planned out, and then it's like, wrenching your schedule. And it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to make this turn, or are you going to make that turn, which is, better for everybody all around? And so it's easy to stay on your game and to stay on your schedule when you're reading and being accountable and being teachable and attending all meetings. When you're doing all these things, it's easy to make things move in a pathway that leads us to success. But I'm just so grateful for you guys. I'm going to wrap that up here because this baby's sitting on my bladder, to be honest. I love everybody in the Alliance. But I'm going to wrap it up. It's been such an amazing call. I appreciate you guys. I'm so thankful for you. Is there anything else you want to add in before we go?
We appreciate you, Stephany, and your support. You don't know how much that means to us to get that. It's, we do, even though you have a positive attitude, you need the reinforcement. Hey, we're doing good, and support. Saying, hey, whatever you need, let me know and stuff. It feels good to have that team together, and it helps us remember we need to be the same way to people underneath us and below our down our line, and just that we all need that. And we sometimes forget and take things for granted. And like you say, we get caught up in our own little lives and stuff. And it's good to be able to share, and you do with a warm heart, and we appreciate it.
Yep, Stephany, you're a living proof. You can teach 2 old dogs new tricks.
Oh, no.
Thank you guys for teaching me something. I love you guys, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Everybody, make sure you get your tickets for family reunion in July. Please, 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 if you haven't get them, make sure you're checking out your rooms. We're so excited. I know John and Sam are going to look forward to meeting everybody there. They always do. And we'll see you guys in July.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Record.